Sorry, I'm a minute late, I think. I had to get my dog a treat so that he would behave. So, exciting, exciting. Hello, my darling. Hi, Jessica. We just got off the phone. She's wonderful. So yeah, I'm just waiting for, hi, Jane. Jane's the coordinator of Australia. Tian has sent a request. So Tian, obviously, Justin, there he is. Just waiting for Justin. He's gonna request join. Hello, hello. All these beautiful people. Oh my gosh. Olga, hello, honey bun. Let's see. There we go. So Justin's coming. Exciting, guys. How exciting is this? Hello.
How are you?
Oh my gosh, I'm amazing.
I know, right? Let me turn my sound on.
I actually have some very quiet 432 hertz celestial angel music happening in the background. My angel said put it on just to keep the frequency where it needs to be.
Nice, I love it.
Excellent. How's your day been, darling?
Been amazing. How are you?
Good. Getting settled in my new house. I'm turning it into actual heaven. Like, literally, people will walk in and go, this is heaven. I know. I live
nice. I love that couch.
Oh, thank you. Yes. This was a good find. Literally, I had Amazon orders arrive today and I had to put them in a Walmart cart to get them upstairs from the mailroom. So I've got a bit of packing to do afterwards. I need to get organised, but enough about me.
Nice.
Well, you look fabulous. You look wonderful, like a ray of light.
I appreciate it.
Excellent. So for anyone that doesn't know that's watching, we put out a clarion call, the army of women, love and light. We put out a clarion call for the kings to come in and support and love us so that we could support and love them too. And Justin heard the call and said, I'm in. And he is now here. I
know, right? It's so awesome.
Every physical body movement you do, I'm feeling like I want to copy it. It's this really strange sense. You got on the line, you went like that, and I wanted to, but I was like my physical body, I was like, no, and then you did that, and I was like, I want to do that too.
That's how I received the love. I feel so much love, and honestly, I'm so grateful to be a part of this group. I could just feel the energy, the feminine energy that this. It's so weird because we're on a live call on Instagram and this technology is obviously so weird to keep up with, but like I'm so empathetic and I could feel everything, and the energy in this room is just amazing and it's so inviting and pure, you know? And it's very hard to come across that nowadays, so.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, even like, you know, look at yourself, you're absolutely gorgeous and everyone can see you're absolutely gorgeous, but it's not about that. He's our brother, you know, we love him. And the same way, most of us divine feminines are absolutely beautiful, but that's you're loving us, our souls, our spirits. And yes, that's what makes this so unusual, this community that we have. And now for you to be here with us, all the girls are just like sat there going, oh my God, the first king's here. Like I think I'm a bit quiet and speechless.
That's so amazing. Yeah, when I was doing so as far as the Facebook went, I know I answered a few questions and some groups we didn't have the right format, so I did a large video on 2 or 3 of them, but I'd love for anyone that has further questions. I know this is just going to be like open dialogue, but if anyone has questions for me that I didn't answer in the groups, I'd love to answer them now that we're on the live. So
absolutely, absolutely. And that's the thing, guys, we are just here to serve you. So if you have any questions, anything you'd like us to talk about, we're literally just here. We're here to spread the love, to share the love, for you guys to see that this is possible, you know, for me to be here looking at a brother that is a divine masculine, you know, and this is the first of many. You know, in the future, we'll all be doing this with our twins and, you know, it's going to be mad.
Yeah, for sure. I think what's big for me, honestly, and I don't know obviously we didn't have no exact way of how this live was going to go, but I love to just drop in with when I do my meetings and when I meet with other people, I always love dropping in with breath work. And obviously the people that are here live, I don't know if anyone has experienced breath work. Maybe you guys could type yes or no in the comments, but I'd love to drop some people into breath work. I've used breath work as a lever to reach those states and bring me back to the present moment. And whenever I drop into people, with people, especially a setting like this, it lays the foundation, and I think it creates a better field for us to just kind of speak from the heart, you know?
Absolutely. I would love you to just take over, take the lead. You're the man. Yeah, take the lead. And like I said, all I know is that I was to be here with you at this time on this day, that this is what we were to do. So I hand it all over to you, Justin.
Nice. So I think a lot of people have done breath work, it looks like in the comments, but I've been taught by some very, very experienced breath workers, if you want to call them that. And one of the most easiest ones to dive into is a 2-1 sequence, right? And we were made, or not made, but as babies, right? A baby that just came into the world. They're very innocent, and they know how to drop into their breath. And over time, we begin to slouch. We begin to ruin our posture, and we begin to breathe from our chest. And that's the total wrong way to do breath work, right? Or to even breathe in general. And if you look at a baby, you know, an innocent baby that doesn't have the mind, that hasn't adapted to the physical world, right? They always breathe from the stomach, the belly, right? That's our source of power. So when we're doing this breath work, it's a 2-1 sequence, and you want to start off first by, first breath is going to be going through the belly. The second chest is going to be, the second breath is going to go to the chest, and you can put your hands on both if that makes it more convenient, right? So first breath is going to be in through the mouth and expand the belly, right? Through the chest and then out through the mouth. So first breath through the belly, second through the chest, and then out through the mouth. So it's a 2-1 sequence. First breath in through the belly, in through the mouth. You're using your mouth the whole time, by the way. It's not your nose. So through the belly, one through the chest, and then out through the mouth. Let me see you do it, Amelia. So it's a good example. No, but drop, and this is just to get it prepared. I'll drop us into it when we're all ready. But
okay.
Do you get the sequence? Did I explain that correctly for you?
Yeah. So mouth, belly.
Correct. And then out through out through the mouth. So first breath through the belly, second breath through the chest, and then out through the mouth. And we're going to do just 10 rounds of that just to drop us into the practice. Do you get it? Okay, cool. So whenever you guys are ready, I'll count you guys down, 3, 2, 1, and we're going to do 10 breaths. And on the last 10th breath, don't try to count in the mind. Don't be in the mind. Just be in the heart. If you go to 11, it's okay. If you go to 9, it's okay. Whenever you sense that it's the 10th breath, on the last one, you're going to take a full deep breath in. Hold with your eyes closed the whole time. And then hold for however long you can, and then release whenever you're ready. Right? Got it? Cool. All right. So 3, 2, 1.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's just I use breath work a lot. Is that a dog? No way. What's his or her name?
Say that again.
Your dog.
Oh, this is Baby. He's a boy.
Aww.
Yeah.
I love dogs. I'm such a dog person.
He's my first dog, so he's very spoiled.
Aww,
Thinks
that is
he's
awesome.
person.
You felt the energy when we were doing the breath.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so breath work, just for you guys listening out there, breath work has been something that I used to implement into my life to just draw me back into the present moment. And I feel as if it's a huge lever that we could use in meditation if you're not as coached or well-rounded into dropping into that sweet spot, if you want to call it that, in meditation. I've learned that breath work just begins to drop you in just that much quicker, and it brings you back to the present moment and makes your mind clear. And it's so important to adapt. And I mean, when I facilitate people one-on-one, that's one of the first things I do to drop people in to then, help. The one that we did through the mouth, they say that breathing in through the mouth, it helps trigger, past traumas or past experience to then come up and assist in letting them out. So if you guys are ever going through something personally inside of you, and you feel as if it's time to do some shadow work and you're having a tough time trying to find it inside of your body, that breathwork technique begins to help reach inside of your body, if you want to use that analogy, and helps pull them back to the surface. And, yeah, it's so interesting, and you'll be able to see the next time maybe that you guys are in that realm of shadow work or whatever you want to call it. It'll help you pull the shadows back up, per se.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There was also a breathing technique. I don't know if you're familiar with it, where you go like that.
Mm-hmm. For the masculine and the feminine, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You go. I'm trying to remember. You breathe in.
Yep.
And then you go like this to breathe out.
Exactly.
And then you breathe in through that one.
Yep.
And then out through that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's just one that I was taught as well a long time ago. I haven't been using it in the program as such. My angels mentioned it to me a few months ago, but they said it's not the time. I think they want me to do that when I'm in person. So
mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a beautiful one to balance both the hemispheres, and you can even think of it as, the masculine, the feminine, the yin and the yang, and it just begins to realign you with that balance. So that's a beautiful breathwork technique also.
Absolutely. In the program that I teach, towards the end, like once the girls are at the sort of tail end, we do a meditation where we actually go in and we identify what their masculine and feminine is now, which side, and we actually balance it. Like, we literally tip the scale, we change the scale within them, because that's something that I've noticed, is that it's out of balance in the majority of people.
Totally.
Yeah. What's your experience been with that, with clients and things?
In regards to what? What are you referring to?
That had masculine and feminine being out of balance in people.
It's totally normal, and I think that's kind of one of the things that we're facing in our evolution right now. It's just bringing. I hate using the word balance because I feel as if that's very hard to reach. That form of balance. Like, what is balance, right? But I think it's very normal. I mean, a lot of the people that I meet with and facilitate one-on-one, they have either an overruling masculine or an overruling feminine. So I think it's huge to understand the both, and obviously when we meet people like us, we're able to be able to kind of help them through that and be able to realize what it is that's unbalanced.
Absolutely. In fact, my angels are telling me, if everyone closes their eyes for a second and just feel into the left side of your mind. This is for everybody. Now, again, you're a man, so I've not done this with a man before, so I have no idea what will happen personally. Just all the ladies, if you just move into the left side of your mind and see how it feels, and it may feel quite soft and gentle, and then move over to the right side of your mind, and you'll feel that it feels a bit different. That it feels different, and if you haven't been really using your masculine much, it might feel a bit uncomfortable there. But if you can actually switch on the lights there and kind of put your mind into that place for a little while and actually feel it grow, feel it brighter, that will actually help to balance some of the energies if they're out of balance, because you want to be able to feel comfortable in both. That's how you know. So that's something. I don't know whether the lefts and rights were opposite in you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, that was actually beautiful. When I dropped into the left side, you could feel the the lightness and the purity. That was actually very beautiful. I'm glad that you shared that with me. And you could feel more. Yeah, that's awesome. Wow.
Yeah, definitely. The thing is, I think we just have so much that we could share. It's just like, where do we start? Rather than what do we do, it's like, where do we start?
Exactly. I think the cool thing is one of my guides that you know dropped into my life at one point. It's like you can almost picture like a spiritual tool belt. And the further you go along on your path or your journey, you begin to kind of put the tools in the tool belt. And whenever you're going through a tough time or the fear, the worry, or the shame, or the guilt comes up, it's just like you have different things to pull out of your tool belt to then assist you in moving forward and moving along from what's transpiring in your life. And that's just the beautiful part about surrendering to the present moment, because eventually we're all going to adapt and receive those different tools per se in the tool belt that's going to help us evolve, you know. So
you, without realizing it, although it's completely planned by the angels, your wording toolbox has brought up something that I teach. So I'm being told to support that. It's to teach that. I just support that. So again, in the advanced program, forgiveness is the key to happiness. Now, forgiveness is the hardest thing on the planet, but it's the most powerful thing on the planet. Now, if you have a person in your life that you feel like, I don't know if I could ever forgive them, or maybe it's a parent, maybe it's someone that abused you, maybe it's, you know, it could be all sorts of things. What I like to say to my advanced clients is to imagine what toolkit that person was given by their parents. Now, if the perfect toolkit has 10 items and they're bright, shiny, and perfect, that's what someone gets from the perfect parents in the perfect childhood. So if you're able to think about that person and think about what kit they were given, imagine they're a carpenter and it was their job to build a house. And imagine that person's childhood was pretty awful. Maybe they only had 4 tools and maybe one of them was half broken. And then when you consider that they had only 3.5 tools, maybe this is your father, maybe someone that out there has issues with their dad, maybe their dad wasn't a very good dad. But if dad only 3.5 tools from his parents, but he gave you a childhood that was kind of a 4 or a 4.5, then in which case he tried really fucking hard and did really well with his toolbox. So understand that, guys. Understand that people are naturally doing the best they know how, and that you can trace this back. You know, your grandparents, typically it's parents, really. Most of the time, the toughest one is normally a parent or a step-parent, because anything that happens after your childhood normally was caused by your relationships with them. That's, you know, people will be like, oh, it's my ex-boyfriend from 2 years ago. And it's like, no, because something made you choose him in the first place and stay there. You know, when the other girl would have run, you stayed. So there is a problem deeper in there. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, so just being able to look at what people's pasts looked like and the toolbox that they were given and how well they used it, that can be a really helpful technique in forgiveness, because forgiveness does really remove the shadow. That is the way to remove the shadow.
I agree. Yeah, there's this, I mentioned it to some of the ladies in the groups, you know, forgiveness is freedom, right? And all we're seeking at the end of the day, in my opinion, in my perspective, is freedom, right? You know, some people like masking it with being financially free, or being free to take vacations, or being free in their marriage, or being free in different ways. But we're just seeking this sense of freedom, right? And forgiveness, true forgiveness, will provide that freedom that we're all seeking. You know, forgiveness from the karma and all the things that have transpired in our lives. So I think that's so huge.
Absolutely. It's very much, a lot of people do not realize the power of it. It really is everything, but it has to be done deeply. And it doesn't mean, if you feel like a neutrality about someone, that's actually not forgiveness. Forgiveness is seeing the light of God in the person. Whether it was for the lesson you learned or whatever, if you can't see the light of God in them, then you haven't truly forgiven them yet. And that's quite a tough reality, but it means a lot. And I'm sharing such important knowledge now, because look at it, we're a few days away from 2020 right now, guys. If not if you're not going to heal now, then when?
Yeah. Yeah, I think the big thing too now to add on top of that, this is just my opinion, it's like I think we're so far advanced in this evolution that we're going through. It's like the people that are denying or looking the other way towards the healing process, right? It's like they're going to be the ones that are going to have to go through the most suffering at the end of the day, because, you know, they're hiding from where the world is naturally evolving towards. So it's better you do the healing now versus being the last one on the train and having to endure the amount of suffering that's going to have to happen to them. So I think it's just going to be a matter of time before, you know, everyone has to do this work, which is the beautiful thing. I mean, we just all, and this is why I appreciate what you guys are doing here. It's like, and, you know, the importance of unity and a community full of people that are all doing the work together. There's a different texture in the air. It's more rich. And it inspires others to do the work and have the feeling of other people, like you're not alone, right? Like the lone wolf days are over, even for men. Like speaking on the masculine perspective, it's like we were taught to, and this answers a lot of your guys' questions, because a lot of the questions that were being asked in the group was like, is the divine masculine going through like an awakening, or are they just like tripping? Like, you know, are they just like avoiding the awakening? And it's like, unfortunately, I think, you know, not take this lightly when I say it, but I think they're going through the toughest part. You know, they're hiding from their feelings, because we've been taught for a long time in our line through the masculine, our ancestors. It's like we've been taught to ignore these feelings, you know, or suppress them, or begin to you know, it's a really messed up feeling, and it brought me to the mud. You know, it brought me to my darkest days, was not feeling as if I could speak about what was happening inside of me, and you know, it's not cool, which is why I did a post not too long ago about, you know, brothers, like it's okay to cry, it's okay to be vulnerable, it's okay to be honest and transparent about what's happening inside of you, you know, and it's so important. It's so important.
Absolutely. You know, it's so funny when you're speaking, Justin. I'm like literally hearing so much resonance. Like you say something, I'm like, oh yeah, and then I'm like, and then I'm just listening, and then at the end I'm like, I can't even remember what I was going to reply to. I'm so absorbed. I'm going to try and remember. I'm going to sound a bit crazy for a minute, guys, but just while I list them out. But you talk about the train, being the last on the train. I have this thing where I say you're the last on the boat. You know, that the ones, you know, the last ones on the, you know, the ones that literally manage to catch on at the end. Yes, it's going to be tough. And those that don't join the boat, the pain is going to be excruciating. And then, gosh, there were so many things. I almost should have been writing it down.
I know, right?
And then with the masculine, yes, because crying is something actually, it physically has to come out. So the men need to cry. They don't have to do it in front of everyone, but they need to actually bloody do it. It needs to happen. I'm trying to think. There were so many things.
Yeah, to add on top of what you said about tears, it's actually proven. I don't know if it's scientifically or not, but they say that tears are the most sacred waters on the planet. And that means so much to me, because, you know, through tears, through our urine, through this purging in whatever way, even actually the salt, the sweat that we sweat out, the salts in it, all our DNA is made of is salt and something else, right? I don't know exactly the specifics of it, but when we're sweating and we're doing, like, we're purging all the memories in the salt, the memories is in the DNA. So this karma that we're forgiving ourselves from, that we're healing ourselves from, that we're releasing, comes through the salt in our tears, the salt in our sweat, you know, the urine that we're releasing. And it's you know, it's so crazy. And these are the things that happen when you're going through the awakening process. Like today, actually yesterday, I think I was being prepared for like this live, because I began to feel like a large amount of, you know, like weakness, and my body was beginning to purge, and I was like, you know, I was dry, whatever that's called, you know, my body's just, you know, there's so many higher frequencies that are trying to work its way down inside of me, and your physical body is going to have to go through, you know, a cleansing, a purging. I say that we're going through a birthing pains right now. You know, when a woman's giving birth, it feels as if like your physical body is just, you know, trying to grasp onto what's happening, and that's why it's so important to learn surrender. You know, what's going on is going on.
Yeah, yeah. And the thing is, I got this feeling, I thought the other thing was, it was like when you, I don't know if you can relate to this, but I remember in my past, there being circumstances and me being like, I can handle this. I can handle this. But it's something I shouldn't have handled. This you know, I'm strong enough. I can deal with this. It's like this almost like, it's like carrying the rock, but you're actually managing to do it. It was like that. Like I can make it through this. I could do this. Like, you know, this is gonna be tough, but I can fucking do it. You know, and it was once I reached enlightenment that I realized that all those times it was like overriding myself, the ability to override doing what was right for me. I was like, that's what's right for me, that's what's wrong for me, but I can handle the wrong one, I can handle it. And I feel that that is what the divine masculines are going through right now. They're still in this, they might know what they want, but they're overriding it to do what they've been doing because they can handle it. Like they can handle it, and they still haven't understood that handling it isn't the same as flowing with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know if that means something to you.
Yeah, that's so important. And it goes back to I always like pointing it back to our lineage, right? Our ancestral line. It's like we've been taught to go to work, provide, you know, like it's just this, now for me, it's hard to even speak about because it's like, it's not even like, it doesn't even feel as if it's common sense at this point. I feel as if like I've released so much of that nasty masculine that's going around right now. It's like, it doesn't even really make sense to me how people still walk that path. You know, it's so unhealthy. It's so like, it just feels nasty. You know, the texture behind how these men are moving through the world is just nasty. But to go back to your point, it's, you know, we've been taught that our role is to provide and make money. And I think a lot of men nowadays are just so lost in trying to reach a goal or reach that certain pinnacle in their life where they're married and they have kids and they have this nice job and like that's when they're going to be happy. They're trying to seek something external. They're trying to seek something externally, and this is an inside out approach now, you know, that we're using. We must go inside first and do the healing, you know, or else this isn't going to work. And we're beginning to see, I don't know if you've seen my post or not, but when I did the post about, you know, the brothers trying to speak with them, it's like 89% of suicides are men. It's shocking statistics. Homicides, I think 90% of homicides are men. You know, the mass shootings, I think 99% of them were from men. And I think these statistics just put things into perspective, how messed up. I don't even like using mental health. I was thinking about this on the drive over here. It's like, I don't like using the word mental health because it's not, I take this lightly. It's not mental health because I struggled with mental health myself. But, you know, we're trying to claim that it is, but we're just not listening to what the soul is trying to tell us. The reason why we have so much anxiety and worry and fear and depression is because, you know, that's the soul's way of speaking to us. It can't speak to us in words unless you're somewhat, you know, tapped in, if you want. So, you know, it's going to be an interesting part of our evolution where we're going, and in my opinion, it's a beautiful time to be alive. You know.
Absolutely, yeah. I feel like the overriding thing, it's really important. My angels are saying, because that is where all this comes from. You get the anxiety and the illness and the things when you're overriding. Where you're going in, you're like the car wants to go this way, and you're making it go that way, and so it's reacting, and it's like shaking, and it's not right, you know. But the thing, two things. Are you wearing green or grey?
This is green.
Because my angels told me to wear green. That's
so funny. I seen a vision of us both wearing green earlier.
My angels told me to wear green. Now everyone that knows me knows that I wear purple, maybe a bit pink, but I wear purple. I am the purple. And green was my colour, but they made me wear this, and it just occurred to me why. So this was why the mirroring thing as well, when we first got on, I was like, whatever you did with your body, I wanted to copy you, and I didn't know why. And I was resisting it, because I was like, why am I doing this? But that's beautiful. So the thing that they'd like me to talk about now, which is the key role of the kings. and how basically we were talking about, we were doing a live, I was doing a live maybe a few weeks ago, and someone was having trouble with their twin, and they were like, what do I do? And I was like, well, it's time to say to him, this isn't serving me. You need to go and join some brothers on a retreat and go and focus on what you need to do. And I'll be over here praying for you and loving you, but we're not doing that right now. And so these places are popping up, these retreats. Obviously, what we need is retreats run by people like ourselves that haven't just learned 7% of it. We've actually gone almost the whole way, like, you know, so that we can take on advanced people. You know, my clients are very advanced women. My clients are the teachers and the guides of the planet, you know. And so it's like there isn't anyone too advanced for me, because if they were too advanced for me, I'd be like sending them a phone number and a plane ticket saying, come see me, like, let's talk, you know?
Yeah, seriously, right?
But these retreats are what me and you personally, me and you, Justin, are to create over the next 18 months or whatever, is these retreats globally where there's a structured training and structured stuff, so that there's somewhere for these men to go, where once they're with other men. There's a man in California, he's a coach. His name's not coming to me right now. He lives in Laguna Beach. He's made himself a whole lot of money, and he's extremely clever. And he has these really tough, macho, rich men. That's who he focuses on. Like, you know, like they're really like, vodka, fuck women, like that. And he has them there crying like babies, and has them come out the other side and realizing that they express their wife, love their children. And I mean, he's pretty amazing. And for some reason they don't want me to say his name right now, and I don't know it. But the point is the equivalent of that, but for guys of all levels. The same way, you know, I take mainly sort of women that are at 6'7". That's like my happiness level, because from 6'7" I can get them to 10. So that is something that I'm supposed to speak on, because that is the next way forward. Now, the actual locations of these, it may well be that we share them. I will have one in Georgia by the spring. I was talking to someone, I will have one in southern England sometime next year, and I will have one in California. But we haven't chose the location of the California one yet. So you can imagine we can have these places with like really glamorous camping, like glamping with like movie studio bathroom trucks and, you know, a chef on a cooking truck, you know, so because if I wouldn't sleep there, I can't expect anyone else to, you know, and have their platform cabin things. But again, where people can go. So it's like the girls that are in contact with their twin and they don't know what to do with him, they literally say, go here. Like, don't do this, you know?
Yeah, I think that's amazing. And what's been coming through to me recently, just to be transparent, is I've always known I was going to do retreats eventually when I get to the point where I feel as if, you know, my guides are telling me I'm ready to hold that space, right? And I think that's going to be the new thing in 2020, because I know that I'm going to be doing that in 2020. It's just a matter of time. And I think men have, like, especially for men, I just want to speak on behalf of men. It's like, we don't have that community. Like, we don't have that community at work. We don't have that community at home. As far as like being with our brothers, there's something different that happens when you're with your brothers and you're able to have a conversation filled with unconditional love, no judgment. It's like, I've had the most, like you said, I've had the most macho men in my arms being like cradled, you know, like babies. And it's like, it's the most, like, it gives me chills right now just talking about it. It's like the most beautiful thing, but it's so sad at the same time, you know? And I agree. I mean, that just is so important to have more men's retreats. So then, you know, we can have, I said on the live, like, we just need more reference points. We just need more reference points, you know, and if I can be that reference point to multiple people, and then 10, 20 guys come to the retreat and begin to heal themselves, and then, you know, they go out to wherever they live, they become reference points in their circle, and it's just a snowball effect, you know?
Exactly. That's why a lot of my clients want to go on to become coaches. And, you know, Aisha, my master coach, was originally a client, and so was Dana. So that's the whole idea, is teaching others to heal others so they can teach others to heal others so they can teach others to heal others. That's how we do this, guys. And I do feel like that as I set up locations, obviously, you know, we would work together with you. You know what I mean? Because that's the whole point. That's how we're going to do this. And then these locations will probably start building permanent structures there. And these will end up being first, fifth dimensional villages. This is how we build the new Earth. I keep telling people the new Earth is going to cost money. We're going to have to pay for trucks and diggers and buy land and bricks, and we will need contractors. This is real shit. Everyone was kind of a bit fairyland about the 5D. Oh, we need to bring in the 5D as if it's all just going to come down with fairies on a cloud. Nope, it's us. It's going to be us. It's going to be him with a shovel digging out the you know, this is what I'm saying. It's real, you know, looking at blueprints, choosing land. And I'm being asked to say to you to actually start keeping an eye out for the land in California, because you're in California, aren't you?
Yeah, California.
Yeah, yeah. So that we have it. So maybe you can, and you can speak with Alicia, who is my master coach, who's based in California as well, just to see, you know, if you have anyone that owns any land, anyone has a farm, anyone has anything like that, just some land where we know that we have, you know, domain there, or can have domain there. Because the place I have in Georgia, my friend has domain, and the one in London, well, it's not London, it's out southern England, her family has domain. So that's what we're looking for, is land with domain. And that's not a legal term, that's what my angels are using, where basically we can be undisturbed and we can create that high level vibe and not have to worry about what the fuck anyone thinks about us, you know?
Yeah, I agree. And I truly feel as if even now, I mean, that's obviously like the long-term goal, but there's a lot of homes and places where you could hold, you know, large retreats. Obviously it costs money, but, you know, there's even places like that. But as far as, you know, future growth, that's 100% going to be the move for people like that.
You're right. You know, retreats can be arranged in the traditional sense. I think to make it more accessible. If we have the land, I have the people for the other stuff, and so it's just making it more accessible. Because when I started looking into it, you know, if I was to hold a retreat now at a decent hotel in Miami or something, you know, we're looking at $4 or $5 grand. You know, and that's a lot. We want to try and have something that's like $1,000, you know, so it's doable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. So that's where the land comes in. Because like I said, we have these structures in mind already that don't cost that much to build, and you know, so it's that kind of thing. So it's like how we can actually make this accessible to as many people as possible. And if someone's not in a position to save up $1,000, then they need to be focusing on just getting a job anyway and not doing spiritual work right now, because you have to get your 3D in order. You have to get your horizontal before you do your vertical. Don't try and vertical your way into having a horizontal. Get your horizontal together, your food, your bed, your sleep, your work. Get that together first, guys. There is no magic route. There's no magic pill. It's you get your foundations together, and then you take the work and you work your way up. And then once you get here, you do become a manifesting genius, but it's because you put in the work, you know?
Yeah, totally. I think a lot of the people are saying that they've heard this conversation before. That just caught my eye. That's really cool.
Interesting. Well, I think it's because of who we all are. Everyone who's present here was in Atlantis. Me and Justin were there in Atlantis and probably had a conversation very similar. And I always say to people, I'm not teaching you, I'm reminding you. Please remember, everybody watching this is an ascended master. You just have forgotten, and you're in different stages of remembering. So everything I say, the reason the word resonate means it resonates. It actually is like it's reminding you. You remember. Everything we're saying should feel familiar. That's how you know it's the truth. That's why the muggles, when they're like, how do you believe that? I have to do my research. I don't know. That's because they don't know what resonating as the truth feels like. When someone tells me the truth, I know it. I don't have to tell them how I know it. It resonates as the truth. Maybe it's a superpower, but we all have it.
Exactly. Yeah, and I always like to say, because when I speak with a lot of people, you know, there's always... You know, I could do a voice message via Instagram to someone that I've never met before, and it's the first time I've ever spoke to them, and then they message me back that they were crying, right? And then I brought them to tears. It's like, you know, your cells, our cells in our bodies remember where we've came from and the past lives that we've had and the evolution and, like, you know, so many things. So it's like, you're so right. I mean, It's like, we got to understand that we've signed up for this. This is a contract. Like, we already know where we're going. And the things that we speak about in depth, you know, the important things that we're referring to right now, it's just your bodies remember, your cells remember, your DNA remembers what you're supposed to do and what we're doing here, especially in these times, you know, because this is what we've been waiting for, you know, which is why it's such a grateful, like, the gratitude that I have being alive at this time on the planet and this stage in our evolution is like beyond me, you know, like we've been waiting for this for so many years, you know.
I feel like, but we've been training for it over lifetimes. We've been training for this. It was all training for this. Somebody wrote something that I loved. She was explaining the twin flame journey, and she said, "You do realize it's like a SWAT mission. Like we were just like dropped here to do a mission. Like, so we've all been trained. Every skill you've ever learned in your entire life, you're about to use it over the next year. Every skill. I mean, every skill, because it's all been training. And I'm being told to give some numbers. So, for example, you know, over the last 200,000 years, there's been 7 attempts to bring the Earth up to the 5th dimension. This is the 7th time. This one's going to actually, it's happening. There's no way it can not happen. In case anyone has old information, just know that they're looking at YouTubes or books that were written pre-2012. In 2012, we were set on a positive timeline. There's no way this can go wrong. This is fucking happening, people. Okay? No messing around. And it is us. This is, you are looking at the people. When I say us, I'm pointing at him, but I'm also pointing at you. All of you. It's us. Because it's not us, who is it? Think about it. Who is it? Look at our generation, our ages, how we look, how we sound, how we feel, the knowledge that we've acquired. It's us. It's fucking us.
Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah.
Is there anyone here that has questions? Because I know a lot of the questions were referring to the same thing, you know, like the divine masculine and how we think, what our mind frame is, where we're at, what we're experiencing. I'd love to answer any questions before we, you know, I don't know what the time is, but before.
Yeah, I haven't got my watch, and I can see it over there. 6:38, 6:48. So we have 10 minutes max. We mustn't go over because we need to make sure it uploads, you know.
Okay.
And you know what? I don't actually know whether I'm in Divine Feminine or if I'm in Amelia Happiness Guru. Do you remember when you popped in?
You're on Divine Feminine.
Good. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so you keep an eye on the questions as soon as you get one. I know today I've been out to United. Let's talk about the, while you're waiting for some questions to come in, I'm thinking the meditation tomorrow is at 1:11 Eastern. It's going to be myself and Danny. We will do the meditation. And then if Justin's free, are you going to be free around that time?
Yeah, it should be good. I'm doing actually a cacao. I don't know if you've ever done a cacao ceremony. I'm going to be doing that in the morning.
Tell me about that.
Okay, so I'm not too knowledgeable about the cacao, but it's literally chocolate. And obviously there's intentions behind how the cacao is made. That's what makes it different, and that's what makes it ceremonious. And the ceremony that's being placed and the intention behind the ceremony is what makes the cacao ceremony. And if someone here is an expert with cacao and the ceremonies, forgive me because I may be butchering this, but it's just a very gentle medicine that can be used to open up the heart space, become more creative, and it's just a very feminine, playful way of opening the heart center and the heart space with brothers and sisters around, and just having amazing conversations, playing music, and just being there for each other. Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, I have heard of it. I've not done it myself. And I think that with me, like I said, I'm told to have a taste of everything. Like I have an understanding of what they are, but it's because so that when the masters of those areas step to me, I can relate to them, but I appreciate them to be the master of their area. Like, you know.
Yeah.
So I was talking to someone about that earlier. She was like, oh, have you heard of blah, blah, blah? And I'm like, yeah. Couldn't talk to you about it for a long time, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, for sure.
So you're doing that in the morning, and obviously you're in California, and so we'll go on at 1:11, and maybe at like 1:21 Eastern, after 10 minutes with me and Danny. If you can be waving and requesting in, then we can jump on and just do a part 2 as well.
Yeah.
Now, there will be the Jen McCartney 12-12 one going on, which I'm not sure. I've been asked, my angels haven't told me right now whether I need to do that. That's why we haven't instructed the community to do it. If they want to, they can. But I believe hers are normally much later in the day. Ours is earlier. Hers typically are around 8 p.m. English time, which is about 3 p.m. Eastern time. So if you are wanting to do the Jen McCartney, that would be afterwards. Yeah, 8:08 UK, 12:12, but it's yours on this page. Hold on a minute. Yeah, let's talk about that afterwards, darling. But yes, if it's 8:08 UK, it'll be 3 o'clock Eastern. So you would have finished up with us if you want to do that as well.
Cool. No, definitely drop into your guys' meditation. I mean, the meditation, and then afterwards we could hop on and just speak more. And I should be with some sisters tomorrow too, so.
Yeah, the key to the meditation, I'm being told, is that it's not about the woo-woo and the us being the people here to do it. It's actually about people we know. Like, if I could ask everybody right now to think of who they know that is Jewish, that's Muslim, that's Christian, that's Hindu, that's Sikh, that's any religion, that's Buddhist. If you know anyone that is one of these religions, could you ask them, please, to join our meditation? The meditation is specifically, and I was given very clear guidance, specifically so that we can have people of different faiths unite at the same time, doing a very simplistic meditation stroke prayer, and that in itself is what's going to activate the grid points. So I want to make sure everyone's aware, this is not going to be a woo-woo meditation. This is about the world. So right now, me and Justin are talking very high level, very fifth dimensional, very learned, advanced master stuff, no holds barred. That's not what the meditation is about. The meditation is about the quantity of people that observe and take part and join in, and the variety of languages and cultures and religions and faiths. Okay, so there actually, my angel just said, if there's only 18 people, but they're all the different faiths on earth, that will do the job, basically. Because the religions, if you look at when the different holidays, ceremony days are in different religions, they're all spread out. They don't all fall on the same day. It's because the powers that were knew how powerful worship was, so they spread them all out. But now what we're doing is we're attempting to do the opposite. We're bringing them all together. One of my coordinators, sorry, I'm getting that throat attack thing. It happened before the broadcast. They were doing this major attack on my throat to the point where I was going to ask everyone that's a Reiki healer to send energy to my throat. But as soon as I got on with you, your energy was enough to hold it. But now that I'm talking about this stuff, they're doing it again. But if you're a Reiki person, send energy to Amelia's throat, please. But yeah, so I have one of my coordinators that's actually going to be on a silent retreat, and she's going to be with her monk. So that's a monk. I've asked my pastor, my Christian pastor, to join me. We got a Muslim women's group actually in the community, so we should have a couple of the Muslim women present. So do you have anything to add on that? That is the key about tomorrow, about the faiths being together.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, that's just so beautiful that we're able to even understand and articulate into words the importance of all coming together. Because at the end of the day, what's going to save, I believe, the world and be able to accelerate this process is just us being able to come together. That's why the word unity means so much to me. And there is a reason why we've separated these days, right? It's because if you guys are big in like the Christian community or just follow the Bible and things like that, there's something, I don't know the scripture and what it says, but it says when two or more gather, I am there, or something along those lines. And the reason why I bring that up is because this is what God was trying to teach to us was, it's time for us to come together, and through us coming together, the powers. And if you want to speak in a higher dimensional frequency, this is like how the grids begin to become charged up or what. I don't know the language.
Absolutely, but I was just told, obviously the powers that would use divide and conquer, because you can do division of the races, division of the religions, division of the people. You can conquer and control. So the opposite of divide equals conquer and control is unite, which then equals conquering the ones that were the powers that were and removing the negative control system. So it's if you look at it, they're showing me it as like mathematical equations, and they've told me to repeat it in case anyone wants to write it down. So it's like they would use division. So they're using it, they're doing it like a mathematics but backwards. So it's like division equals conquer, control, so conquer plus control. So hold on, you might be able to follow it better than I'm seeing it like on a blackboard. So basically division, divide, the word divide equals conquer plus control. So control and conquer equals, they do that via the separation and division, and then we are to reverse that. So we have unity equals the conquerors, removing the conquerors and the control system. So the control and the conquer that was above, they were like almost like a plus sign. So plus conquer and control equals division, and down here it's control and conquer, but it's got a minus sign above it. So we're to remove the conquer and control, and that will equal unity and community, and that's done. Sorry, unity, and that's done through community.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, that was probably Einstein trying to do a bit of outside, because I was like, hey, I can't even do maths. Like, why are you doing this to me?
I know, right? Totally. I'm on the same page.
Yeah, I have some special guides jump in, because they're like, I can actually hear them in heaven being like, just talk to Amelia, she'll channel it. Yep, she'll deal with anyone. Go on, jump over. And I'm like, God, please, no, can I just have the master, like a specialist in science? Can I just heal her and train her so she can deal with him? Because honestly, my gangster angels is enough for me. Thank you. So I think we are getting close. Thoughts, or was everybody just mainly talking about my throat, which I do appreciate, everybody?
Yeah, I think there was a few questions, but that may take it past the hour if you can.
Well, I mean, it's 6:48 according to my oven, and we started at 5:55. So we have 6 minutes, but we've got to go over, because if we go over, we won't get to post it. So let's do 3 minutes. If you want to choose one and you just speak, because these guys get to hear me speak a lot, and I want them to make the most of you being here.
Okay, cool. So this one says, how do I deal with seeing my past being projected at me clear so it stops appearing? I've let go of guilt if my past. How do I transmute it? Do I need to journal it or speak it to my angels? That was a little bit hard to...
That's more of a me question. I would say... really, it's going to come down to forgiveness. Whoever the person was that did you wrong, that you do need to do deep forgiveness. And once you've forgiven them, then forgive yourself. So you could do that through journaling, through writing it down, and through visualization. Do you want to do another one? And if you figure it out, you can book a free call with myself and my master coach, Alicia, and we can give you the advice in person. Just go to Amelia Happiness Guru and click the link in my bio and book a free call, and we'll tell you the answer. Do you want to do something else?
So someone said, Justin, are you on a twin flame journey? And I think that's a very vast question, because I don't know. We didn't get into this subject, which is interesting because I know you guys are super big on that. And in the community pages on Facebook, I got a few questions in that regard. And I'm not too, enveloped in the twin flame journey as you guys may be, which...
Most of the men aren't, though. That's the point, isn't it?
Yeah.
The guys aren't.
For sure. Yeah, I guess that is an answer to that. But I mean, me personally, I believe more in just take this lightly. I believe more in, or at least for now, I'm trying to tread waters very lightly. At least for now.
They're saying that's a good idea to tread lightly, only because, remember, guys, don't project the divine feminine issues and everything we have onto him and expect him to be a mirror, the mirror image of it, because he's actually the direct opposite of it, which means he's doing really well to have gotten where he is in his healing. But that's why there's so few divine masculines that are even this healed, let alone ones that are actively like, hey, I'm a divine masculine and I'm on the twin flame journey. He probably is on the journey because he's doing the healing. But does that mean he's longing for a divine feminine somewhere? No, not the way we're longing for the divine masculine, and it's gotten us to do our healing to get us to where we are. Does that make sense, everyone?
100. And I kind of want to add to that. It's like the reason why I may not be as focused on that journey is because I know intuitively that I know that I need to work more on healing myself before I bring my twin flame, my goddess, that woman inside of my life. Why would I want to, as a man, not this, I don't mean this in the ego way, but why would I want to bring such a goddess, such a, like a twin flame into my life at this current moment when I still have so many loose ties connected with me? I would never want to put her in that position.
I think you may have just said the most fundamental thing we could have ever heard. Can we just pause for 1 second, because that you don't realize the power of what you just said. Where he is right now, girls, where Justin is right now, that's where our twins are. Everyone just take that on board. They know that we're goddesses and they're not ready to bring her in yet because they're trying to get their shit together. Now, whatever shit together that is, and that's it. That's it. And we over here are getting into our goddessness. And he's just answered exactly where the divine masculines are right now.
I agree.
That should give a lot of peace of mind.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. And that's where you are is where we want to be. And it means, they might not be back with us yet, but we need them to get to as healed as you, which will then get them on the path to eventually be ready and feel ready, and it will all be ready and everything will be great. We all have to work on ourselves right now. I'm not with my twin yet, and I've worked on myself for so many years I can't even remember, but these days I'm now working in divine purpose because I've finished my work. I now help other people learn how to finish their work and teach others how to finish their work,
Yeah.
I think we are pushing it. I think we might have to sign off in a second. This is amazing, and I just want to mirror him. I can't believe I'm in the green as well. I was like, why are they telling me to wear green?
I know. That's so amazing. I swear, I seen a vision of us. It was so weird because, I was trying to pick out what color I was going to wear, and then I got pulled to green, and I'm like, oh, she's going to wear green today. And I was like, oh, it's crazy.
I don't wear green.
Yeah.
I used to wear it all the time, but I don't. I haven't in months. It's really weird.
Wow.
But it must be heart chakra. It's all to do. My angel said it's to do with nature, because when me and you meet each other, it's going to be at one of these campsite, glam site, nature retreat, nature reserve. They just said that's where we're going to meet, and we'll be wearing green then. And it's all connected. Heart chakra, nature, and that's where me and you are physically going to meet. And it's going to be it's a thing. We're like, oh, we're in green again,
That's awesome.
Lovely. Well, I don't even know how to. I love you, Justin. I love you. I love you. I love you. You are amazing. We've enjoyed this so much, guys. And Justin will be jumping on again tomorrow after the meditation. Anything else you want to say before I click off, my darling?
Yeah, no, I just want to send deep bows of gratitude for you for allowing me into this space. All the divine feminines here. You guys are so beautiful. The energy here is so just peaceful and pure and inviting. And I'm just so grateful to be a part of this. So thank you.
Definitely. Thank you. Love you lots. Take care, Justin.
Love you too, guys. Bye.